So here you go, Amber. You're going to see how the sausage is made.
All right.
You get to see how this is done. Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today on Tiki Mugs with Ray, I got my good friend Travis. What are we talking about today, Travis?
We're talking about chips, Ray.
Chips, like the TV show?
No. We're talking about chips.
I didn't even get a smirk from Amber on that one.
I am going to show one way, and I know everybody has lots of chip fix things that they do. This is just one way that I got to experimenting with because our friend Lynn Cooper up the street.
Hey, Lynn.
Had a volcano.
When are we going to go drinking again, buddy?
He wants me probably to get to work on his tiki bar. But
that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. But he had a volcano bowl with a chip on the top. Okay. And it was on clearance at World Market. And it was the last one they had. And I was like, Lynn, you want this thing? It's, last one they got. It's got a chip. And he's like, yeah, get it for me. I'll be okay. So I'm bringing it home and I'm thinking all the way from Linwood, what would be the best way to try to fix that chip? It was in the volcano part where you put your flaming lime shell.
Gotcha.
So I got to thinking, what would be a way to fix that up? And
okay.
I know people have taken nail polish. One thing about doing the nail polish thing is you have a wide variety of colors, but so you can match. But I couldn't help thinking that there should have been something better. And I remembered in my times working at hardware stores, this product right here, Magic Porcelain Fix. It's $4.99 at Lowe's. It's a 2-part epoxy system where you have a white part of the mixture, and then you've got the epoxy part, and you mix them together, and then it starts its epoxy process, and then it becomes really hard, and so you can fix your sink or your top of your stove or something with it.
Okay.
And then I got to thinking, well, the only problem here is how do you tint that white part to be any color you want?
Yeah, because that's only literally going to be white.
Right, exactly. So I thought...
And porcelain, essentially, would this be considered porcelain? No, well, it's clay. Kind of. Enough that it would stick, right?
Right,
okay.
Exactly. That was my thought.
Okay.
So I didn't want to add any like a acrylic paint or something to it, because now we've taken one liquid and added to another liquid and thinned out the original liquids.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've changed the composition of the white part of the process to potentially make that unstable. So I got to remembering the good old powdered RIT clothing dye.
This is clothing dye?
Yeah. You can dye anything you want with it, but most people use it for clothing, and it is dye in powdered form that you would dissolve in any sort of liquid. So I thought, well, if we're dissolving dye into a liquid, how would this work? So I took Lynn's volcano bowl home. I bought some of this, and I actually bought this color first, but then I realized that it worked with just the regular RIT scarlet dye color, because you always want to do some tests, and these are some tests I was playing around with for this. Some different colors, some purples, and this fuchsia color.
Now, how did you come up with these different hues?
This is the RIT purple. This is the RIT fuchsia, which we have right here.
Okay,
and that's what we're going to use. And this is kind of a combination of them both. For this is going to be a continuing experiment, because when I bought this specifically because it had the chip right here.
Let's see that.
on the nose. And
Oh, yeah, I see that.
when I fixed Lynn's with the Rit Scarlet color, it matched perfectly. One thing when you do this, and you read the instructions to find out, is at the dollar store, you can buy little plastic containers with lids. They're little art containers in the art section for $1.
Yeah.
You want to build this up in layers. And I've already got one layer on there, which is kind of mostly the same color depending on the light.
Okay, so you already started with this.
I already started one,
Okay.
one little section right there, and I feel like just the regular fuchsia is going to be about as good, because I also want to see how this wears when I stick it in the dishwasher and that sort of thing. But
The colors, well, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know that there was a chip on it.
right,
I mean, now that I look at it, it's like, okay, yeah, there it is. But
the fuchsia, that's why I'm just going straight fuchsia, because I tried mixing the purple and the fuchsia together, and it is a totally different color. But here's kind of how I did it. So one thing when I first did this, I noticed that things don't completely dissolve since we're not using hot water.
yeah.
We're using other things. So I figured out that if you take some of your dye,
Oh, it's granular.
it's granular, it's dry.
Okay.
That's why we're using that to tint this, so it's not another liquid. We don't want to add a third liquid
Okay.
into this
And dude,
process.
that color is like literally the color of the mug.
It's pretty close. You've got these little granules, which is fine, but as you can see here, Ray,
Yeah, you can see them.
you can see the granules that don't quite get to dissolve all that well. So I got to thinking, what if I take a couple spoons and I take these granules and I grind them down just one more level and create a smaller powder. So I started doing this, and it works pretty well.
I feel like a drug addict. Being shown how to like shoot heroin. Spoons.
That's on a that's on a different episode of Tiki with Ray.
Drugs with Ray.
We're gonna take the white side of our epoxy here, and I've got a little bit more on here than you normally would need for most chips.
Okay.
We're going to take this and we're going to pour some of our white half of this onto here. We're going to start the mixing process. It's kind of like it's sort of the consistency of the white paper stuff.
It looks like you didn't really even use all that much.
No, you could really, I mean, because chips are so small, you could really, this is like the 5th time I've used these to try to do some chip fixing.
Okay.
We're going to start the mixing process here, and we're just going to do what we can with it. And you're not going to see a lot of change right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now. You're just kind of beginning to get the white portion of this wet. Where you are going to see it really changing color is when we add the other half of the epoxy.
Right. So like right now, it literally just looks white.
It kind of it's now a little bit off white. It's beginning to change.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh yeah, it's definitely changing.
Right. You just want to try to get this as dissolved as possible right now. Now, we're going to take the other half of our epoxy and, oops. We're just going to, let's take this corner and we're going to drop a little bit of that there.
Okay. Not a lot. It seems like you're not even using a lot.
No, you kind of want about an even amount. But now here's where things change in that we've got a time limit.
Okay.
But you can already see as that's moving it's
changing the color.
Starting to change the color. So now we really start mixing this around. And whatever that the other half of the epoxy is...
Dude, it's like changing immediately.
Right.
Want to lift that up and show the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really changing colors now. The only problem is like I said, we're on a time limit now because these two are going to begin their chemical reaction.
Yeah, and you want to get it on whatever you're going to get it on.
Right, exactly.
Because what, it'll just dry up and harden and that's it?
Yep. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Because it's obviously drying into a rock hard...
Yeah, and this situation normally is like you'd probably just, if you weren't doing a color, you just mix the two, put on whatever you're going to do and call it good.
Right.
But since you want to add a color, you need to get that color mixed in with it.
Yeah.
First. But it is changing. I mean, it's full on.
It's full on.
It's the fuchsia. It's the fuchsia.
It's the fuchsia. We've got an El Cheapo paintbrush.
So let me see. That's just a paintbrush?
It's just a paintbrush.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would try to find cheap dollar store paintbrushes or something because you're not going to want to sit around and clean this when you're done.
No, you just throw it away.
So you just dab a little bit, try not to get any granules, and then we're going to dab onto our chip and build that up a little bit. Kind of take a little bit of the excess off.
And you're literally just going in very, very small increments.
Oh, yeah.
But it is filling it in, though.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, this is probably the this is the second time of going in for this. So there'd already been a layer put on, but when it dries, it shrinks down, and so that's why
the color match is
pretty close.
Pretty close.
This is something you can do.
Yeah.
To potentially fill chips in on your beloved tiki mugs that...
And I'll be honest with you, Travis, it was a lot easier than I thought. I thought like, oh my God, we're going to be doing some crazy-ass science shit.
It's totally easy. It's about a $7 investment.
And you can keep on using this stuff,
You can
right?
keep on using this stuff for however, till you run out.
This is very invaluable information. Thank you, Travis.
No problem. It's got some caveats. It's going to be for shiny mugs. You're not going to be able to fix your matte mugs with this, obviously, because it's meant to be shiny porcelain. But
dude, as I said before, when you first handed down the mug, at first I'm like, where's the chip at? What are we looking at? And then you pointed it out. So yeah, it looks great. Travis, thank you very much.
No problem. My pleasure.
Well, gang.
Good luck, gang.
Good luck. Aloha, mahalo, and all that other crap.
I still got my drink.
I already finished my zombie a while ago, so goodbye. Perfect.
Perfect.
I love being productive. Don't come around here no more. Whatever you're looking for. Remember that video? It's like Alice in Wonderland.
Uh-huh.
And she's like a cake. And they all start cutting her up and start giving each other slices of cake of Alice. And I was like torn between it because it was like, I love cake. Cake's my favorite food. But then again, that's sort of like cannibalism.
Yeah.
Fucking Tom Petty. He's a weirdo. Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.